What's going on, Doe fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. Today's going to be a massive one. The stock market futures actually printed an all-time high today. So I do suspect the S&P 500 index will also print an all-time high. And I will show you the implications of that. More than likely, this will end up being a parabolic run for the stock market, which will mean risk on assets will more than likely pump to the upside. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those channels. Be sure to follow my page over on X, and I do produce base native tokens over on my X page, so be sure to check it out. So let's get right into it. First of all, for liquidations, liquidations haven't been too crazy the past 24 hours, only 230 mil, with longs actually being above shorts. Liquidation heat map, we're actually having a lot of liquidations getting built up on both sides, so I do suspect with the lower volume during the weekend, we're going to have a lot of volatility. If I go to the 3-day, yeah, so the liquidations above us are actually getting very thick here, and we have a lot around the 108k region. And if I go to the 1 week, which will more than likely show, actually let me go to the 2 week actually. Yeah, so the two week actually shows a lot of liquidity above us here, and this just shows to me more than likely pain is to the upside, and it's just looking like to me time is running out for Bitcoin, and the inflection point is coming. I did tell you guys, look, when it comes to this bull flag, this bull pennant, whatever you want to call it, the inflection point is probably within the next 18 days. I've told you guys multiple times, June will be green, and currently as it stands right now, technically June is green. It's a pretty decent candle here. So we opened at 104.5k region and currently sitting at 107.7. But of course, you guys want to know when alt season is going to happen, because I know a lot of you are in alts. I do expect once Bitcoin hits all-time highs, I do expect altcoins to really ramp up, especially with base native token assets and a lot of institutions actually joining base chain. When it comes to the long short ratio, it's well into the red, which is really bullish. If I go to the daily, yeah, we're getting more red prints once again on the daily, which just shows to me there is more pain coming for the late shorters. And more than likely, we're going to have massive liquidations probably in the next week or so, because it's actually like a considerable amount of red printing. So this just implies to me that more than likely, we're probably going to have another leg up, and that leg up will probably be a monster run, just due to the fact our next leg up will most likely be an all-time high break. For Ethereum to Bitcoin, nothing really to say. We're still trending low, and we definitely want to see a reclaim of this bull flag. Because more than likely, if we do get that reclaim, we're probably going to head into that major resistance. And that would definitely mean that our altcoins would start ramping up and obviously start to outperform Bitcoin. For the Bitcoin chart, I guess something to note, and similar to the Ethereum chart, we're actually seeing a momentum reversal on the 2-day RSI. So as you guys can see, we've been trending lower, making lower highs on the RSI, but we've actually finally flipped out of it and looking to retest the highs. And more than likely, that would mean to me that we're going to head into all-time highs. This is actually technically an early indicator that Bitcoin is actually going to head to all-time highs maybe within the next 2 weeks, just based on the fact that we have finally broken out. And this just means there is seller exhaustion and buyers are stepping in control as of right now, which is obviously really bullish. And I would not be surprised all-time highs get broken in the next 2 weeks or so. Let's see if this arbitrary line works out. Obviously, that is my perfect scenario to play out. Of course, none of this financial advice is just my opinion, but I'm just relaying what I see on the charts to you guys. Best case really would be is actually reclaim that third parabolic channel. So ideally we get a massive monster wave up, but it's looking like that's unlikely. I don't really think that we can print multiple 10k candles in the next few days. That doesn't seem likely to me. So we might have to scratch this third parabolic scenario here, because it's looking like Bitcoin is going to take its time and go much slower for the remainder of this bull cycle. Doesn't necessarily mean we can't hit 150k. I know we can and will. It's just it might take maybe till August till we actually hit that. For Ethereum, the 2-day RSI is still lagging. So of course, Bitcoin actually broken out the 2-day RSI. But as you guys can see, we haven't broken out yet. We could actually be on the cusp of actually breaking out. So within the probably next week or so, I would like this momentum to actually break to the upside, which would mean seller exhaustion and buyers stepping in control for Ethereum, which of course would be bullish. But it seems to me Bitcoin has to run first, and then Ethereum will see that breakout. For stock market, super bullish. We closed yesterday at 6,100, but as you guys can see, futures have hit the all-time highs, and I had this arbitrary line drawn up, I think it was last week, I can't really remember, And it's tracing that pretty much perfectly. And I do expect this parabolic run to actually continue. More than likely, we're going to probably hit the next few weeks, the 6,400 region, and then have a retest of all-time highs. That would probably be the healthy scenario for me, at least. And let's just have a look out for that double top. Of course, we could have a temporary double top and a lot of bears getting loud on the timelines, which would also be another bullish scenario, because that would just mean a lot of people are offside or just shorting the markets. And of course, I don't think we're going to double top. And even if we do, it's probably going to be temporary and the targets won't be met. Because of course, a double top target, like the target would be way down to like the low 5,000 region, which I do not expect to happen. And my main case to play out is actually all-time highs and a parabolic run for the stock market. A little update on Toshi. So of course, number one base native token on base chain. And just to show you guys, look, my arbitrary line expected a reclaim of this. Just to give you some updates, I didn't realize this trend line, and I'm just showing it to you guys now. Look, as you guys can see, we had a major trend line made back in April, technically the 2nd of April. And as you guys can see, we've retested at support every single time, and we actually retested as resistance just last week. So it's just something to note, and it's looking like we're more than likely going to make our way up again. But it's my bad not actually showing you guys, like, look, it might actually take more time and more effort for Toshi to actually break out of his pennant, because this is major resistance and we definitely want to reclaim that. And by the time we reclaim, it's probably more than likely we're above this pennant anyways. But of course, I'm still bullish on Toshi, and I do expect massive news for Toshi in the next few months or so, because generally just based on the fact that base chain is actually ramping up with their integrations, especially like integrating JP Morgan's token and the DEX integration on their Coinbase app in the next month or so, more than likely Toshi will adopt a lot of his new net inflows from Ethereum and from users over the Coinbase app. So I do expect Toshi to actually massively pump. And like I said before, anywhere below this red box really is a really good spot to DCA. So of course, none of his financial advice, this is just my opinion. But if you guys are underinvested, I would probably start DCAing at these levels, because when it comes to risk to reward, really, it's super strong. And Toshi is the number one base native token asset on base chain. And of course, it's fairly launched. So it gives it a lot of merit, and more than likely will adopt the massive inflows that are yet to come in base chain. Next up is tweets. So first tweet by Income Sharks. Ethereum, if you want to learn patience, trade this coin. It'll test you with everyone you have. On balance, volume was looking great until the panic selling. Now we have another fun journey back to the trend line. It still never gets bearish enough for me to sell. Higher low, so we keep holding. So as you guys can see, Ethereum actually printed a higher low on the unbalanced volume. This just means there is more buying stepping in than selling. All we have to really wait for now is for on-balance volume for the Ethereum chart to actually break out. And this would most likely mean to me the sellers have been absolutely destroyed. And really the easiest path is to the upside. And I do expect once this on-balance volume is broken, more than likely Ethereum will be well into the $3,000 region. And of course, our altcoins like Toshi, etc. will be on a massive monster run. Next tweet is by Kush. This is a chart of an asset that's about to go parabolic. So Kush really likes to do his Elliott wave kind of theory charts. And this one's actually looking quite valid to me. We just had a massive ABC correction in the last few months or so. Now we just printed a 1-2. And really now we're just waiting for that monster third wave parabolic move. And to be honest, I would not be surprised that happens in the next month or so. And like I've been covering you guys the past few months, pretty much every time we've had that monster wave up to the upside, it hasn't really taken that long. So as you guys can see, from our last low of 5th of September, it took us 68 days to really double in price, as well as here. So 75k to the 110k region, it took us 40 days. So based on that fact alone, we're probably going to have that 150k region hit probably July, August, I would say, especially if this confirmation of the bottom is in and that little liquidity flush we just had pretty much the past week has been confirmed. So if we go based on that alone, let's go 150k. So anywhere from like 60 days. 60 days to 150k would probably take us, well into August, maybe a bit earlier, depending which price target we actually hit. But it's looking very bullish for Bitcoin as well as our base native token assets. And I do expect the massive leg up to continue. And more than likely, the bottom is in at least for this local bottom to be in. So I don't expect the 98k region to be broken for the remainder of his bull cycle, just based on the fact that the sentiment was absolutely destroyed. We had really bullshit news happening the last week, and I would not be surprised some bullish news will come out in the next week or so. We do have US tariffs deadlines. Actually, I think they're going to get hit probably in the next week or so. So we're going to have some more clarity around that, which will of course mean the stock markets will probably go on a parabolic wave to the upside, as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum will probably go up as well. But yeah, so that's the end of the video, guys. If you guys liked the video, like and subscribe. Definitely comment down below if you guys have any questions to ask. I'm always answering you guys in the comments. But yeah, that's all to the video, guys. Have a good one. Have a good day. Peace.